Welcome back to AFT Dice Season 4. It is round 15. Let's go to the first game. It's Western Bulldogs versus Collingwood at Marvel Stadium. Let's go to the first quarter. And the first quarter's done. Western Bulldogs kicked 5 goals, 5-2-6. Western Bulldogs are up by 17 points against Collingwood. Second quarter's done. Collingwood kicked 4 goals, 1 to Western Bulldogs, 3 goals, 1. Western Bulldogs are 11 points up. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, Collingwood has come out. They've kicked 5 goals, 2 to 3-2. And Collingwood are up by 1 point. All right, let's go to the last quarter to see who wins. And in the end, Collingwood have won by 2 points. Final scores, Western Bulldogs 14-11-95 to Collingwood 14-13-97. All right. Okay, so let's go to the second game. It's Fremantle versus St Kilda at Optus Stadium. Fremantle have come out. They've kicked 6 goals, 3 to St Kilda 5-4. 5 points up. Fremantle's. Let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter, very even. Fremantle 1-4, St Kilda 1-5. Still 4 points Fremantle's way at halftime. Oh, third quarter, 6 goals, 6 apiece. Still 4 points the difference Fremantle's way at three-quarter time. Let's go to the last quarter to see who wins. And in the end, Fremantle have got up and won by 18 points. Final scores, Fremantle 16-16, 112 to St Kilda 13-16, 94. All right, let's go to the next game. It's Richmond versus Hawthorn at the G. Richmond have kicked 3 goals, 5, 23 to Hawthorn 2-4, 16. Let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter, Richmond have kicked 6 goals, 6 to Hawthorn 4-1. And at halftime, Richmond are up by 24 points. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, Richmond have kicked 5 goals, 5 to Hawthorn 2-4. And at three-quarter time, Richmond are up by 43 points. Let's go to the last quarter. In the last quarter, Richmond had a big quarter. They kicked 6 goals, 5 to Hawthorn 3-6. And in the end, Richmond have won by 60 points. Final score, Richmond 20 goals, 21, 141 to Hawthorn 11-15, 81. All right, let's go to the next game. It's GWS Giants versus Gold Coast Suns at Giant Stadium. And the Giants have come out. They've kicked 5 goals, 3 to Gold Coast 1-6 in the first quarter. Gold Coast are down by 21 points. Second quarter, GWS have kicked 6 goals, 1 to Gold Coast 3-4. And at halftime, GWS are up by 36 points. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, Gold Coast have kicked 5 goals, 3 to GWS 1-5. And Gold Coast are still down by 14 points at three-quarter time. Let's go to the last quarter. And the last quarter, GWS have won by 41 points. Final scores, GWS 17-15, 117 to Gold Coast 10-16, 76. All right, let's go to the next game. It is Geelong versus Essendon at GMHBA Stadium. Geelong, they've kicked 6 goals, 3, 39 to Essendon 117. Top of the table, Essendon have got jumped in the first quarter. Let's go to the second. In the second quarter, Essendon has won the quarter, but they're still down by 27 points. Let's go to the third quarter. And the third quarter, Essendon, they're coming back. Essendon kicking 5 goals, 4 to Geelong, 2 goals, 3. And at three-quarter time, Essendon are down by 8 points. Let's go to the last quarter to see who wins. And in the end, Geelong have won by 18 points down at their home stadium. Geelong final scores 13-13, 91 to Essendon 10-13, 73. All right, let's go to the next game. It's Brisbane Lions versus Sydney Swans at the Gabba. And first quarter, Sydney are up by 2 points, 37-35. Let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter, Brisbane, they've kicked 6 goals, 5 to Sydney, 3 goals, 2. Brisbane are up by 19 points. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, Sydney have kicked 4 goals, 5 to Brisbane, 3 goals, 3. And at three-quarter time, Sydney are down by 11 points. Let's go to the last quarter to see who wins. And in the end, Sydney have got up and beaten the Brisbane Lions at the Gabba. They've kicked 5-4 to Brisbane, 2-1 in the last quarter. Brisbane final score 16-14, 110 to Sydney Swans, 18-12, 120. Sydney Swans were sitting on the bottom of the ladder and beating Brisbane, who are in the 8. All right, so let's go to the next game. It's Melbourne versus Carlton at the MCG. And Melbourne, they've kicked 5 goals, 4 to Carlton, 3-3. First quarter, Melbourne are up by 13 points. Second quarter, Melbourne have kicked 2 goals, 1 to Carlton, 1-2. And at halftime, Carlton are down by 18 points. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, Melbourne have kicked 6 goals, 2 to Carlton, 4 goals, 6. And Melbourne have got a handy lead of 26 points. And in the end, Melbourne have beaten the Blues by 34 points. Final scores, Melbourne 17-12, 114 to Carlton, 11-14, 80. All right, let's go the next game. It's West Coast versus North Melbourne at Optus Stadium. West Coast have kicked 3 goals, 5, 23 to North Melbourne, 1-8 in that first quarter. Let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter, West Coast have kicked 6 goals, 1 to North Melbourne, 3-1. And at halftime, West Coast are up by 33 points. Let's go to the third quarter. Very even. West Coast kicked 3 goals, 1 to North Melbourne, 3-4. And at three-quarter time, West Coast are up by 30 points. Let's go to the last quarter. Last quarter, West Coast Eagles have kicked 6 goals, 5 to North Melbourne, 5-6. And in the end, they've won by 35 points. West Coast final scores 18-12, 120 to North Melbourne, 12-13, 85. Let's go to the last game of the round. It is the showdown, Adelaide Crows versus Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval. And Port Adelaide are in front by 8 points, 33-25. Let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter, Port Adelaide have kicked 4 goals, 1 to Adelaide, 2-5. Port Adelaide are up by 16 points at half time. Third quarter, Adelaide, they've kicked 4 goals, 4 to Port Adelaide, 2-5. And at three-quarter time, Port Adelaide are up by 5 points. Let's go to the last quarter. And the last quarter was a thriller. Port Adelaide won by 3 points over Adelaide Crows. Final scores, Adelaide Crows 13-13, 91 to Port Adelaide 14-10, 94. Well, that concludes round 15. We've only got 2 more rounds after this. So a heap of teams cannot make the 8 now. We've got Sydney on the bottom. They're still behind a game, and they could potentially get the wooden spoon after being in the grand final last year. Same with Port Adelaide, they're third last. But if we go to the top, Essendon are still a game clear, 44 points, 11 wins. North Melbourne second with 40 points, 10 wins. Richmond, they're in third place. They've won the last 5 games. That's their form. Western Bulldogs, they're in 4th place. They've taken Brisbane Lions' place, and they're in 6th now. Carlton, 6th. GWS, 7th. And Hawthorn are in 8th spot. So there's a series of teams that could make the final 8. But at this stage, it could be anyone's anyone's final series this year. So that concludes it. We've got 2 more rounds left. It's very exciting to the finals. We'll see you next time on AFT Dice Season 4.